I started the handyman business about 4 years ago with a partner in South Texas. We got stuck in this weird spot of working a ton and not being able to scale past just us and a couple guys and not making the money that we wanted. 4 years later, we have made a ton of mistakes. We've learned a lot. We've spent a whole bunch of money on ads and leads and marketing and websites and software. And our revenue in the last 12 months has averaged over 100 grand a month. But let's pause for a second, because I want to explain to you exactly how some handyman businesses stay busy, they make okay money, but they can't scale past a certain point, and why some businesses are doing over 100 grand a month. And we're not the only handyman business that does over 100 grand a month. There are lots that do that. So if I said 100 grand a month and you rolled your eyes, you either A, just straight up think that I'm lying, or B, think that it's impossible. That's not real. No handyman business is doing over 100 grand a month. The second one, I can't help you with. You should just keep scrolling. I'm not trying to convince you of anything. The first one, this is a video. You're watching a video of me talk right now. Let's jump on a call. I will screen share with you and show you my last 30 days or last 12 months of invoices. I'll show you the ad accounts that we run and how we average, I think recently we've been averaging 7 to 10 qualified leads per day. I'll show you our top performing ads. I'll show you the software stack we use. I want you to get past the limiting belief that handyman businesses can't scale past a certain point. Because if you've always kind of felt like there must be a way to make this thing work, and there's a couple little things that you must be missing of why you get stuck in this loop where you stay busy, you make okay money, but you don't have much time and you can't scale past a certain point, I have very, very good news. So I want to go over two main things in this video. One of them is why 40 grand a month as a handyman business is where freedom begins. And the second is I want to explain why most handyman businesses get stuck in this thing that I call the loop. All right, first off, you can see this is a calculator page on our website, fulcrumagency.io. The 40 grand a month is not a random number. Here's roughly how this breaks down, and then we'll look at this calculator. You have 2 full-time techs in the field that you pay an average of $28 an hour to. Okay, that's this $28 an hour here for employees. They each are going to bill out 32 hours to your clients. That's this 32 hours here. You yourself bill out 20 hours a week. So you're basically in the field working 20 hours a week. That's 84 hours per week that you're billing clients. You bill $115 an hour, but your effective bill rate is 95 because of warranty work or package discounts or a triage in paid to build ratios. If you don't know what paid to build ratios are, that's essentially the amount of time that you pay your employees for is always going to be more than what you're able to bill the client for because of travel time or material runs, things like that. Okay, in this scenario, you have material costs are about 15% of your labor cost, and you mark them up 20%, right? That's here, 20% markup. And then here are rough numbers that we hear. These can change. You can adjust these if you actually use the calculator yourself, but we are going to put vehicles, tools, and fuel at $3,000 a month. Your insurances are going to be $1,400 a month. Your software, phone, CRM is $1,200 a month. You're going to spend $2,800 on marketing, ads, leads, an admin assistance, $1,800 a month, and just a random $1,000 a month for miscellaneous stuff. Okay, adding these up here, your total is $11,200 a month in overhead. Your take home in this scenario is $11,700 per month. That's $141,000 a year. And you're only working 20 hours a week in the field. So this ties into our mission at Fulcrum Handyman Agency, which is to show handymen how they can have financial stability, schedule flexibility, and margin to pour back into your community. Okay, but let's get into this because most people, when I go over these numbers, they tell themselves two things. The first one is that they're not going to be able to get enough work for 2 full-time techs. Okay, we'll go over that. The second one is they can't charge $95 an hour, let alone $115 an hour. So I want to show you why this is important, how much you're charging your clients, okay? So right here, we have $11,700 monthly take home. If I change this, $65 an hour seems like the average that handymen are charging when they come to us. Okay, so if I change this to $65 an hour and I change no other variables, now that's your take home. You make $542 a month. That is a whopping $6,500 a year. Okay, you don't want to do that. So the biggest lever that you have is how much you're charging your client. Okay, now I told you we'd get into these questions, those 2 questions, that you can't get enough work for 2 full-time techs or that you can't charge $115 an hour. Here's a weird thing is I've never heard somebody break down why it is that some handyman actually can't charge $115 an hour or right around that $100 mark, and why some can. I've heard people say you should just charge it. I've heard people explain the math behind why you should charge it, but I've never heard anybody break this down clearly. So I'm going to break it down clearly for you because we went through this. When we started charging for our own business, we started at $65 an hour. Might have been 55. I think it was 65 bucks an hour. We had clients, we had plenty of work, right? And we had clients that would price shop us. That happened all the time. In order to make that work at $65 an hour, we didn't have company shirts. We didn't have company branded vehicles. We didn't have a more robust software solution so that we could send out estimates and invoices and they'd all look professional and be quick. We didn't have as much training for our guys because we had thin margins. Okay, now we charge $115 an hour is our default. So I want to break down the second one first, which is you're concerned about, can you charge $115 an hour? Okay, so again, the truth is you might not be able to right now because you don't look and operate like a business that charges $115 an hour. But I know you can charge $115 an hour because we have clients that do it. We do it. But here's the thing is the customers that pay $115 an hour are not price shopping. They are convenience shopping. So they want the guy who is easy to communicate with. That means they don't miss calls, right? They get clean estimates out quickly. When there's an appointment booked, there's a confirmation that gets texted and emailed out with a option where they can tap it and add it to their calendar. They show up on time in professional apparel. They clean up after the job. They make invoicing clear and easy and quick. That is who the customer that's willing to pay $115 an hour wants to work with. In order to pull that off, you have to have very smooth and integrated operation. But I am telling you, when you have that stuff dialed in, people pay you $115 an hour. And guess what? Those customers are easier to work with than the customers that want to price shop you at $65 an hour. Okay, and for the first question, that the concern about can you get enough leads or business to hire 2 full-time tech? Here's the reality, and this kind of sucks to hear, and I feel bad for people that spent a bunch of money on marketing agencies to run their ads and stuff. The ads really don't matter that much. If you hired Apple to create the greatest handyman ad of all time, and when someone called you, you didn't answer your phone, or when they requested an estimate, you didn't respond for 24 hours, you would still waste money on that ad. Okay, I have spent over $100 grand on ads for my own handyman business. I am telling you what matters for making the ads work is your operations and your digital presence. Okay, these are things like, do you have a Google business profile that's completely filled out with high value reviews? Is your website accessible to AI models where people search for business reputations? Do customers have a few options to contact you like a phone call, an estimate request form, a chat widget? Do they receive a response within 30 seconds when they reach out, no matter how they reach out? Do they get professional looking estimates? Do they get an email and a text to confirm their appointment when the work is scheduled? Okay, a customer can drop off at any point until the work is actually being done. And the smoother your operations are and the better your digital presence is what makes the ads work. Okay, and if you're still concerned about the ads or you think you don't know how to run them or that's not your thing, that's fine. We can do all that stuff, right? We have guarantees that I'll talk about at the end of this video as well. But I'm just breaking down the difference between a business that struggles to scale and a business that does over 40 grand a month. If you have smooth operations, you have a great digital presence, you have the ability to charge $115 an hour. If you can charge $115 an hour, you can scale with that model, right? We looked at all these numbers. You can feel free to go to this page right here and plug in numbers, play around with this. You don't have to put in an email or anything to use this calculator. If you can charge $115 an hour, that model allows you to scale to that 40 plus grand a month. Again, now here's the pitch. Fulcrum Handyman Agency, what we do is we help businesses scale to 40 grand a month. If you are a handyman business that does over 5 grand a month right now, and you partner with us, we will guarantee that you will double your revenue working with us, or you do not pay a penny. There is nobody that I've seen that does what we do. Okay, we handle the digital infrastructure, we handle the operations, we handle your marketing, we handle your hiring systems and your ability to scale. Your consulting, if you want pricing menus, we have the full suite of things. I'm not going to go into the whole thing in this video, but basically you do the work. We help you with all the other stuff and guarantee we will double your revenue. So like I said, I know this works because we do it in our own business. We've done it for clients, right? We do over 100 grand a month consistently. If you question whether that's real, again, book a call. You can book a call right now with me. I will screen share and show you our invoices. I will show you our ads. I'll show you our software stack. We provide those same things as a system for your business to help you scale. So book a call. The worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to get some free consulting from me. You can see behind the scenes on how our business runs. But the best thing that would happen is you look up in 3 months and you have the business you've been dreaming about for the last several years. Book a call. Let's talk.